Welcome to episode 38 of the Swish Nomads podcast. I am OG. I'll be your host this morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're listening to this. And I'm joined by the one and only P Funk. How are you doing?
Stitched up from the feet up.
You know, we be matching now. This is what happens when people don't turn up to the podcast. They don't get their merch.
There you go. And then they start hating. How come I didn't get it? How come I didn't get it? But listen, if you don't know, now you know OG. She's a trendsetter. You know, Aww. She's starting her own clothing line called because it's My Stitch on Instagram, yes. But it's called Stitched.
It's called Stitched, yes. Threading our tribe.
Oh, respect. And then I'm rapping like the champ.
Oh my God.
Angola.
Facts.
I mean, okay, listen. We didn't win in U16. We didn't win in U18, but we damn sure won in, when it matters. So, yeah. But listen, hey, go and check it out. My Stitch.
Thank you. I don't pay him for that. He just does that for free. So great promotion.
And if she did pay, I'm cheap. If someone wants to collab or whatever, I'm cheap. Baggers can't be choosers. Or if you want to throw a pair of Jordans, size 14, now you know.
Okay, we've got a packed episode for you today. We're going to be going through what's happening in the under-16s AfroBaskets. At the moment, as we're speaking, the quarterfinals are just finished. So when you listen to this, the semifinals and the finals will have already happened. So we're going to give you our predictions and talk to you about what's been happening in the games. And because it's me hosting, obviously we're going to do a focus on the ladies, and we're going to be talking about African basketball players in the WNBA. But before all of that, we're going to get to our hot topics. Now, Djigo was supposed to join us for this segment, but internet problems in Africa, you know how it is. So instead, I'm back doing hot topics, which is no change to what we usually do anyway.
Facts.
First of all, if you haven't heard, our boy Alou Diarra has been signed to Bologna, who have played in the BCL before. So he's going to be going over to Italy. Am I correct? Bologna's in Italy.
Yeah.
We're super excited for him to be making that move. Sad thing is, I don't think we're going to see him in the road to BAL or potentially the BAL, because he's a big deal now. He's out there. He's up in Europe. He ain't got time to be playing with us, but we will be tuning in to watch him, and we'll be updating you with his progress, as well as some other players who will be playing in Europe, because we do realize that we haven't actually talked about any European players at all. So I think this time with the season starting, we're going to start doing a little bit more player watching and letting you know how everybody is doing wherever they're playing in the world. Next bit of hot topics. Ladies, I know you're as sad as I am when you saw this news. When you saw him down on one knee and you saw her hand over her face, you knew what was coming. Our boy Jean-Jacques Boissy has popped the question and has proposed to his lovely lady. I don't want to be a hater, but I'm not going to be a hater. Congratulations. I'm really happy for you. And we're really happy in the basketball community when we see love. So who doesn't love a little bit of love? So congratulations. Ladies, he's off the market. But don't worry. Do you know who's still on the market? Badio. Right there. We see you. EK, I see you too. Obviously my husband, Bay, see you as well. We could go on, but we don't have time for that because we actually have a podcast to go on to here. And finally, we're going to give you a little bit of an update on to what's happening in U16 AfroBasket and U16's women's AfroBasket. I'm going to let Pedro take the mic to talk to you about the boys, and then I'll come back and talk to you about the girls.
Like I said, we didn't make it. I was talking all that trash, saying we're gonna make it, but I knew deep down, the odds were stacked against us. Because other countries are taking youth level basketball more serious than us. And then I think the success of the senior level AfroBasket is going to try to mask everything, but no, we got problems. We got problems that need to be addressed. So, we were talking off camera. It's the same four nations
Mm,
in both boys and girls:
facts.
Cameroon, Mali, Egypt, and Cote d'Ivoire. Congrats to them.
Mm,
You know, and then we got like, a wow, why those? Because apparently, they doing what what they're supposed to do.
mm.
I would think the biggest letdown is Guinea.
Oh, yes, actually. I
You
was gonna
know,
say why, but actually, yes, that is the
yeah, the
biggest letdown.
biggest,
Yeah.
because can you imagine, like, you're the defending champs, and then you go out there, like, and then just drop the ball, and then it's to show that you got to come with your A team. The same thing happened to South Sudan in the senior level
Mm,
competition. They can't just say, "Hey, we the biggest, the baddest, whatever," and then you don't come with a respectable team, and then other teams will do it. So I'm thinking Egypt is Egypt.
yeah,
Egypt
yeah.
is Egypt. I watched the game today. Those
Mm.
kids, those kids, they play the right way. They don't
They're
wow you like, oh my God, athletically, whatever. They
no
don't, but they will dunk on you too. Don't get me wrong. But then they play like they operate like a surgeon.
fundamentals.
There you go.
Fundamental that when
There
I
you
think
go.
about Egypt, it's fundamental basketball from grassroots all the way up. And I agree they
Absolutely.
don't wow you, but they know what they're doing because if they didn't, they wouldn't consistently be in the top 6 when it comes to
Yeah,
these youth tournaments.
yeah, yeah.
Consistently. So yeah, I'm not surprised that Egypt's there. I'm a little surprised that the Egyptian girls are there because yeah, because I just don't think in previous years they've been as strong, but the boys definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Cote d'Ivoire is, hey,
Yeah, that's the biggest surprise for me.
Cote
So
d'Ivoire, man. I
I'm
was
just like,
like,
who are these kids?
I know. Where do they play? Like, hey,
Mhm.
tell me something. We need to send some players there too. It's I know a couple of them play in France. I know a couple of them
Okay,
play in
okay.
France. And the thing about Cote d'Ivoire is that uh my okay, they don't okay, the senior level, they go and recruit, you know, outside of the continent, whatever.
Mm,
But like those kids are focused. Those
yeah.
kids are focused. And now, like, listen, they might. You never know. You never
Mhm.
know. They might be in a podium, and then this generation is gonna go. It's two teams that go to the World Cup,
Yeah,
right?
the top two.
So
Yeah.
top two go to the World Cup, make a showing, and then they got they got U18 to go to. So
Mm,
I think um, all four teams are forced to be reckoned with. Mali, come on, Mali. This year's Mali's year. Come on.
yeah. I mean,
You
but
know,
sorry, isn't every year Marley's year?
not at the senior level.
Okay, well, I don't know. Both men and women came second in AfroBasket.
True,
Like
but
that's
this
kind
year,
of like that's consistency.
yeah, but it wasn't the first time they. When was
For
the
the
first
men, for the
for
men,
the
it was the
men?
first time.
Yeah,
But
women,
for the
yeah,
girls,
yeah. The
no, the
girls,
girls
yeah,
have been
it's
consistently in the
yeah,
top
true, true,
four.
true, true,
So I
true.
think what the boys did was catch up to the girls. But we've always known that the Mali youth program is not to be messed with. The Mali youth program is the almost the blueprint that other people should be
Yeah,
following because
yeah.
consistently, they come out on top. So I was not surprised by them.
Okay. In Jigo and I, we were talking last time, and we were like, okay, because FIBA Connection needs to clarify, how does that so-called MRI work of the wrist? Because listen, me, unfortunately, I had like 7 surgeries. I had four on my right knee, two on my left knee, my
Mhm.
Achilles, and I had a bunch of, other injuries, whatever. So I know the MRI thing, whatever you go, it's a huge thing. You go inside, you stay in there, and it makes noise, pop, 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 it takes various pictures from different angles, whatever. How does this wrist thing, because it's got to be like an approximation. They can't tell you exact age, right?
Well, no, okay. Before I try to like explain the science, what I will say is in the science, when we were all at school, we all learned about how fossils work and how dinosaur bones are found. When you dig
Yeah.
up a bone, you can check inside and and using
The
DNA
density, is
and
it the
there-
density that?
there's density. I also think it's the cells that, like, certain cells develop at different stages in your life, and certain cells like drop off and stop doing certain things. So between those two things, I believe that's what they're using to identify whether a child is within, I wouldn't say they'd be able to tell you the exact age, but within a certain age range, I would think
Okay.
is feasible. I'm also looking for the science now just to make sure.
No, because I remember when I was younger, and I started hearing that it was an X-ray, but they would say there's like they will check the wrist because if the cartilage, if it was like this, means that you're not
Mhm.
growing anymore. So basically, they
Okay.
just say that you're not growing anymore. But there's people that peak early. You
Mm,
know, imagine you have a growth spurt like when you're like 14, and
but
then
I don't think it's you're not growing anymore because, like, I'd say especially when, like, someone who's tall like me, I got to the height I was always going to be at 16, but the rest of me still kept developing. Like, the rest of your body is still developing. Your genes and stuff are still doing what they're doing. So I don't know if that's the right way of saying it. Um just having a quick look at how, like, the MRI part works. So, MRI scans used to estimate age, particularly in youth sports like basketball, they focus on bone development, especially in the wrist. And this is how it works. So, human bones grow and mature in predictable stages, especially in children and adolescents. The wrist and hand contain growth plates. I'm going to butcher this word, uh, epiphyseal seal plates that close as a person matures and gets older. By scanning the left wrist, doctors can assess the stage of bone development, which correlates to the chronological age of a child. This differs to an X-ray, which doesn't work like that. Um, so what they're looking for in an MRI, they scan targets called the distal radius. That's the end of the forearm bone. The key sign whether the growth plate is still open, meaning the person is likely to be under the age of 17. If the growth if the growth plate is completely fused, then the player is likely to be older than 17 years old. The reliability means the method is considered 90 to 99% accurate for determining whether a player is under or over the age of 17. It's most commonly used in under 16 and under 17 tournaments when age cheating is suspected. Um
what
yeah,
about U18 then? Because you can be 25 and saying you're 17, you know?
mm,
So U18 is less. Oh my God. Now it makes a lot of sense.
well,
That's
it
what.
says it's less effective after the growth plates are fused, so they don't usually use this method
And
for
U18.
over the age of 17. But for under 17, it's a very reliable source, and not only FIBA but FIFA also use that
Yeah.
method.
But my question is, do they also use it at America Cup, Asia Cup, or
I'm
Eurobasket?
I'm sure they do, but they have to have a suspected case
Oh,
before they.
they
It's not
don't
every
do.
player that gets is checked. It's like if you're suspected to be.
So the usual suspects, in this case, us, everyone gets tested.
It's not just us. I think they test in Asia and America too. I think what happens is we probably get found out, not found out, let me say it again. We probably have more examples of doing the wrong thing. I would say. And that's probably why it gets talked about more. Because come on, let's be real. We had two teams, and in those two teams, we lost like 3 to 4 players in each of those teams. Come on, come on.
I mean, I heard that, and on the Angolan team, we lost 6 at the qualifiers.
Okay.
You
So
know,
at some
so
point, you know,
if it quacks
if
like a
the shoe
duck.
fits, yeah.
No, but I totally understand. I totally understand. It's like, unfortunately. But then another thing I got to talk about FIBA.
Mm.
I mean, we don't want to expose the kids. Say this player did this or that player did that, whatever. But in, I mean, don't they need, because they do it with doping.
Yes.
You know.
But doping, remember, is random though. A player is randomly selected when it comes
Yeah,
to doping.
but when he gets caught, he's suspended for X amount of years. If it's his first offense,
Mm.
he gets suspended, whatever. But they say the player or athlete, da da da, name this, whatever, was banned with a was found with an illegal dosage of
But
banned substance.
I think that would be I think that would be cruel and unusual punishment for someone under the age of 18, because that would actually put like a scar on their record that would follow them around.
A scarlet letter.
Yeah, whereas I think in some cases, because I listened to the last episode, in some cases it's not the player's fault. Like, it could be the person in charge of that player, so their parent or guardian. It could be the team. It could be a federation. It could even just be that they didn't have a birth certificate, so they told you this is how old you are, and it turns out that's not how old you are.
That's
That's
what
what you believe.
Manute Bol was saying. I didn't know my age. Yeah, but listen, don't get me wrong. Listen,
It's rare, but I do think it happens. I mean, let's think about, like, if you're going to the deepest, darkest parts of Africa, where we're talking about the jungle, or people who are still living potentially in like tribal family cultural settings.
they're not
I
playing
don't.
basketball, man.
Yeah, maybe they're not, but maybe they're not having kids in hospitals where you get a birth
Facts,
certificate, right?
facts,
But
facts,
then
facts.
that kid maybe gets seen by like, maybe that kid, they decide they want to send that kid to school, or someone influences, somebody comes to visit that village and they're like, hey, your kid's pretty tall, why don't they you send them to this school?
Yeah.
That kid then goes to that school, they
Okay.
turn out to be good at basketball. All that kid knows is what they've been told, and their parents will tell them what they know. So in that case,
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily scar the child by tarnishing their name by saying this child did this thing, if it's not necessarily their fault. And also, I think when we're under the age of 18, we're allowed to make mistakes. We should be allowed to
Yeah.
make mistakes. Even up until 21, you should be allowed to make mistakes, because you're still figuring life out. And then afterwards, then you can blame us and fine us and do whatever you
Yeah,
want to do.
but can I just tell you something? Imagine there was five players on, I think on no, Mali's team, right? I don't know.
Mhm,
There was five, right? So for those five that over the age of 16, there's
mhm.
five that stayed home watching on YouTube because they couldn't compete. They weren't strong enough, fast enough, or good enough. Then
Oh, I see.
that's the thing. We can't only say, "Oh, poor
Mm.
kids." No, because
They
uh,
took the opportunity away from
yeah,
somebody else.
somebody that did the right thing. I mean, they didn't. I mean, I'm talking. Once again, I'm making a correlation with doping. You
Mhm,
competing clean, they were
mm,
doping, and because
mm,
of X amount of factors, you stayed home and they went. So and then you'd be like,
mm,
okay, that's why So I don't know. To me, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have friends. I have friends that they got caught with this. Then they destroyed their careers because of that, because they got caught,
mm.
and then they were playing. Yeah, no one wanted to touch them. But that's a story
That's what
for
I'm
another day.
saying. Like, as much as, like, we need to say you shouldn't do that, we also have to be mindful of how that's going to affect somebody's career and the
Yeah,
reputation of the program or the team or the federation as well. Like, yes, how do your parents say, like, you have to discipline a child, but you don't make that child hate you? Like, so there has to be a little bit of give and take with that, at least.
absolutely. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
All right, we're going to move on to our question of
One
the week.
little hot
Oh
topic,
no, go on, go for it, go for
because you mentioned uh, African players playing in Europe.
it.
We have like sad news, a little bit of a Gilson Bongo, like he transferred to Fenerbahce in Turkey. We just watched
Mm,
Turkey beat Greece, so yeah,
yeah.
and then unfortunately he sustained an injury to his left knee against Cape Verde, and then
Yes.
it was discovered that he had a ACL injury. He's gonna I think he's gonna require surgery or some conventional healing method, but he's gonna be away from the course for like from 6 to 9 months, which is a pity.
9 months.
Yeah, 6 to 9, yeah. That's what I read. And unfortunately the kid is yeah, but he's still young. He's still
Yeah,
young,
yeah, of course, of
and
course.
then I think medicine evolved in such a way that, everything now is just a little they open arthroscopic to three little things, whatever, just go then, clean the joint and do whatever they got to do, and he's good to go. But yeah, like an Africa representative at the EuroLeague level, he's not going to be playing this year, probably at this,
Mm.
until, because we're talking about the season's going to start. If it's 9 months, I don't think they will risk bringing him. They just, they're just going to let him. But yeah, that's what I had to say about unfortunate situation that Jilson Bungo's at. Yeah,
Well, we wish him well. And I mean, I was going to say read a book. Take some time, read a book,
yeah,
watch a movie,
yeah,
just rest and don't
yeah,
stress. You're a
yeah.
champion. And you're easy on the eye too. Ladies, I think he's single. He might need a nurse. I'm just saying. Just another quick piece of hot topic. I feel like we mentioned this a few weeks ago, but it's been confirmed by some sources that um, Dakar might not be hosting the next BAL. So there are 5 countries who compete to host the BAL. Oh, this is also the same for Rabat and Pretoria, which are in Morocco and South Africa, respectively. The 5 countries that usually kind of have the hosting rights are Senegal, South Africa, Morocco, Egypt, and Rwanda. Angola has also now been added to that mix. So I guess the thinking is somebody needs to be taken out for Angola to be put in so that they're in the rotation.
We
So
got home court.
what they're saying is that might be that the car comes out so that Angola can go in. And we know that
Hey,
we're going to get a good crowd in Angola because,
oh hell yeah,
love basketball.
hell yeah.
So that is fun.
Yeah, yo, can you guys hear me? I
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
hope I won't froze again. Sorry, guys. I mean, I've been into some Africans problem. Internet sex out here. But yeah, about the Ice with the Dakar situation. So guess what happened? Uh, Coach Libas Fay was former coach of the Ice with the Dakar team, obviously, get fired and now replaced as by his former technical director, Mustafa Gay. For those who don't know,
Hmm.
Mustafa Gay was the coach of the Senegalese women team in the last AfroBasket before
Yeah,
this year's
we all
AfroBasket.
know who he is. We all know who he
Yeah,
is.
and also former coach of Ville de Dakar women's team that played in the
Mm-hmm.
WBLA, and then he
Mm-hmm.
said after the competition, I will retire from basketball. That's what he said. So let me break down the situation for you guys real quick. First thing that happened is that Vidal Dakar has an organization fired the coach from the female team who won absolutely every team, like every major competition and cups and whatever available in the women's side. He won it. His name is Malik Gujabi. And Vilda Dakar did fire him. Why? We still don't know. Maybe he's winning a lot. So what happened in the men's side? What happened in the men's side is Coach Libas Fai was the coach of Vida Dakar for the BL team. For those that are really tuning into the BL last season, he was in the bench as an assistant. I don't know if you guys noticed that. He was in the bench as an assistant. And then, I mean, we all know what happened with Vida Dakar. They had him court, but failed to make it out of the conferences. And then what happened next? It's Coach Libas Fight won back-to-back championships. I mean, get and also another cup in the country, qualifying the team for another BL season. But he got fired and now replaced by an old head who declared himself that he was going to retire after the WBLA in September. Why? Because that guy has the syndrome of the personal, like personnage principal. That's how we call it in French. He has the syndrome of the personnage principal. Because now what he want to say that for my own legacy, I probably need to be the head coach for Video Dakar so that I'll be on the first, I'll be on the spotlights and anything that happen. So yeah, that's the situation down in happening in Senegal. Everybody questioning themselves why that brother coming back from basketball because he wants fame. That's it.
Now we're going to move on to the question of the week. Is the WNBA on Africa's radar yet? So, the reason why I wanted to bring up this topic is we talked a little bit last time I was on about Amy Okonkwo having a stint in the, I believe it was a 10-day contract in the W. And then I had a look actually to see how many players have played in an African competition and then have gone on, or either played before or have gone on after to play in the W. So I came up with around 10 names. So that includes obviously Sika Kone, Evelyn Akator, Astu. I think Astu Endor was in a training camp. I'm not sure if she actually played. I need to check that. But I wanted to find out if the way we're developing our women now, are we preparing them for not just the WNBA, but playing potentially in Women's EuroLeague? So we're going to start things off with Djigo. And the first question I want to ask you is, are we taking women's pro basketball seriously enough in Africa?
Uh, thank you for handing me the mic once again. And my honest view on that one is we're definitely not taking women basketball seriously here in Africa. I mean, unfortunately, what happened is anytime that we hear about, I mean, that we hear about people talking about women's basketball, it's when it is AfroBasket. We don't hear women's basketball be talked about as in when we have the leagues, like the local leagues or any other competitions. We hear from them when it is an AfroBasket going on, which is so unfortunate for the development of the sport. But we start to see change, and then we start to see growth, as in some of the new implementation by FIBA that have the WBLA, which was really good for our players to compete and then to see what happened for other countries in Africa. But now what need to happen is for us to talk more and more about women's basketball. Not only the media, but also the federations, also the publishers, people that are into the basketball ecosystem, because anytime that women basketball is brought up to the table, it's when there is an Afro basket, and things have changed. Those things have need to change. I mean, what I mean by that is the local leagues are ongoing, right? But are we hearing about who's leading, who's the top leader, or who's the top player, who's the MVP of this and that local league here in Senegal or in Cote d'Ivoire, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? No, we don't hear them in the senior level, and I'm not even talking about the youth level. Anytime that we heard about a youth African women's dominating the continent, it's whether it is an Afro basket or a U18 U19 Afro basket, or there is a campus in somewhere else in or there is a camp organized by FIBA, or there is a Basketball Without Borders, and highlights are popping in. We're trying to talk about, hey, there's this girl, and that girl. But are we taking it serious enough for us to prepare our players to be rising star and shining in the W? I don't think so. That's my honest point and opinions on the subject, on that question.
So Pedro, is the problem, the visibility gap, a problem from the media and people like us as publishers and media outlets, or is it an engagement problem from fans?
I think it's a combination of both because let's listen. Let me tell you, Tika Kone, you mentioned she dominated in the continental level. She was able to do wonders. She won the uh, like she won AfroBasket like U16. She played at World Cup, at the World Cup turn heads. She was able to go to Spain with a really, really good performance. She went to the WNBA. But then, can you imagine if she had gone to college? You know, because look at that little. Because I don't know if you know, there's a lady named Malongo, like Malongo. She's French, Cameroonian and
Oh
French.
yeah, yeah,
That's the
Yeah,
girl. That's the girl who can dunk, right?
yeah,
And then
yeah. 6'6".
yeah,
Crazy.
she's 6'6", super athletic, and she went to Seattle. She's in Seattle, whatever.
yeah,
Mm.
But she's a WNBA already, making. But then imagine if she had gone to college or to high school at first, she would have the amount of visibility, we'll have like she'll be competing with all these. She'll be. I'm not gonna see be like not bigger than Caitlin Clark, but she will be up there. You
So
know,
do you not think Sika, sorry to interrupt you, but you don't think Sika, because Sika to me is probably one of the biggest stars we have,
African born, African
African born
born. Yeah,
stars we
yeah,
have, right? Who
yeah.
is in the
True.
WNBA. So you don't think in terms of fan engagement and also in terms of us, like us doing our job in terms of talking about her, we're not doing that job well enough because she wasn't visible at a younger age.
Yeah, because she was visible. I mean, because I think most of the federations they fail in showcasing their stars.
But is
Yeah,
that the
marketing their
federation's
players.
problem? Because surely that's our job. Our job is to do the news. Our job is to talk
Yeah,
about,
but look at like, what's the name of this? Look at Finland. They
yeah.
got that
Oh,
that that
Yeah,
Mika
Markkinen.
kid.
That's what I call him, baby
yeah,
Markkinen.
That kid played in Spain. You
hmm
know that, right?
Oh, I did
yeah.
not.
He played for Central Basket in Spain, and then went to the States, started playing OTE, whatever. Now he's playing in
He's
Arizona
in
for
college.
Arizona. No, no, he's in high
Oh,
school
he's
still.
high school. He's high school.
As in
Yeah,
Yeah,
high
he
he's
school.
plays
still a
for
baby. Yeah, yeah.
Arizona Compass. But I'm just gonna tell you something. Do you
He's
see
going
how
to the
they?
NBA.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
he's gonna be
sure.
one and done. He's gonna go play 1 year in college.
He
Gonna
will
go.
he will receive one of the T1 offers, man, from the Dukes, the Kentuckys, and
Yeah,
everything.
But to be
because he's
fair, if you watch him play, he is absolutely brilliant.
not only
He
that,
like
and he has
he's
a
just
mean
oh
streak. That kid, I
yeah.
watched him. I watched him
Look at the
in
length.
uh, in Valencia. In Valencia for the Olympic qualifiers. I mean, Olympic qualifiers, and I was like, "Who's this kid?" Because I didn't know. All of a sudden, he was there. I wasn't. It's not like I don't follow every country in the
Yeah.
world. There's 200 countries, right? And now, no, it's
True.
this kid who plays in the States. Blase, blase, blase. And then I was like, "Oh, I put two and two together. That's the kid." I remember, yeah. And then I'm just saying, like, you see how they promote him? They call him
hmm
Slim
Slim
Jesus.
Jesus.
Mm,
Crazy.
You know,
crazy.
they're promoting him. They are promoting him. And then
When you say they, who is they? Because I think we need to get down to like whose
they,
job it is to promote.
the man, the
Yeah, but
man
who's
is from, the man is promoting him. The man is
No, I feel
promoting
like
him.
if now even the Filing Federation, man, I feel like they also promoted him through their
Yeah,
socials. They
yeah,
posting everything
yeah.
on his
Always he
highlight,
was,
pushing
yeah,
pushing the agenda for him for his stock to raise,
yeah.
and
He's
then
in, yeah.
that
But
brought
then,
awareness.
come on, remember, like Central African Republic, they had Thierry. Who promoted Thierry?
The
Thierry's in a
NBA
blip.
Academy
Nobody only, but nobody. Listen, no
on.
one is talking about Thierry now.
Mm,
Thierry was
Yep,
it was some
it's
mock
true.
drafts, whatever. Went to the NBA G League Ignite. They started putting him playing like I don't know, playing the three, playing the
yeah,
four, and then he's gone. He's gone.
it's a shame
But
because he
Babacar,
was the next. He was the future to me. He was that talent.
I know. And then because you could play the one, the two, super versatile,
Mhm.
whatever. But then no one. But then the thing is, once they go, I'm just gonna give you one example. There's no matter how much you want to try to compete with them, it's impossible, because there's kids that got a following since they were 12 years old.
Okay, I see
You
what you.
can't compete with that, I'm gonna give you one. There's this one kid called Beckham Black. His brother plays for the Magic. He just moved to a new team, whatever. And then on that team, there's a guy named remember Ebine Ekezi, the
Okay.
the the Nigerian guy. He played for the Nigerian basketball team. His son is one of the top prospects in the country. Ekizi Jr. He's like 6'11", 7 foot, whatever. Compared to Beckham Black, who's not in the same accolade, but he's like he's always he has a film crew. He walks around with a film crew.
Stop it.
You go on YouTube, a day in the life, this and that, this and that. Why?
It's
And then
just very.
that's a yeah, because he has a brand. Tell me one African player with a brand. Tell me one.
Okay, so then my next question to the two of you will be this. we now have the opportunity. We have the under 16s boys and under 16s girls. We have the opportunity as basketball fans, but also as publishers, to do exactly what you say. Let's say the MVP from the girls and the MVP from the boys. The next 12 months, every week, we try to do a story. We try to, everybody's, all the African pages. Would that give those two players the same amount of visibility as the ones we're talking about who make it through the American system, should we say?
Do you know one guy named Diamond Blasi?
No.
Diamond. His name is Diamond. Do you know?
Yeah, he's from France. He's French, you
Okay.
know.
Listen, this kid, this Diamond Blasi, I remember he played for this
That's
school called
crazy, man.
Jordan Christian. Jordan
Okay.
Christian is a JCP, Jordan Christian Prep. And then I
Okay.
was there, and he went to play against a school that I had a couple of players there. I was watching. I saw a kid come in, whatever, da, 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 everyone asking for autographs. He was probably like 16, 17, asking for autographs. I was like, who's this kid?
Oh, but
Oh no. Oh, he has 2 million people, 2 million followers on Instagram. I
so
was like, really?
really?
Yep,
He
yep,
has 3 million.
yep.
Is he good?
Listen,
I mean, he's tall and can block shots and do his thing.
That's
and
not
The
why
thing
I
is,
asked you. That's not why I
no,
asked
no,
you.
no, no.
Is he good?
Uh,
he is a potential. He
is he
has a
no? Hold on a
potential.
second. Is he potential? What's his position? What does he play?
He
He
played
plays
the,
the
the five, the
four
four and the
five
five. Yeah,
at 6'6", 6'7".
that's
Yeah, but
6'8".
that's every kid who's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
tell me what
Yeah.
makes him special. What makes him unique? Why
I
does he
don't
have
know. I don't
He's
know.
marketable. That's the thing. Let me tell you what's making me.
So
Just
Bronny is marketable. Yeah, Bronny and
he,
Mikey Williams
mm,
was marketable. This kid has 3 million followers, man.
yep.
okay?
Just a funny story, guys.
On
About that Jamal Blasi. It's funny that you guys brought him here. The thing is, I once organized an event with him when he came to Senegal like last year. He has some
Mhm.
Senegalese roots, so he
Okay.
came here for the holidays last year, and I hosted one of his events in my venue for
Mhm.
Impact Hub for where I work, and it was like a meetup. That meetup
okay.
was like you brought people and then you do TikTok dancings and he signed autographs with you and whatever, whatever. Guess what? A venue of 200 people was fully packed with kids, children wanted to meet with that boy and got him signed his autographs and get hugs and whatever. And then this year, yeah, it was a couple of years. And then this year, when he did it in the more bigger venue. And that one was also packed as well.
But I have a question. Those players, sorry, those fans and those kids who are coming to see this player, if you did a meet and greet with, let's say, okay, Ali Diarra, let's say that because he's not Senegalese.
Hell
Would you,
no.
no, no, but hold on. Why wouldn't you get the same numbers? Ali Diarra is been in the BAL. He's a national champion. He's got a silver AfroBasket medal. He's played U18. He's not famous, is what I'm saying to you. So tell me, why is it that those kids from Senegal will go and see this American kid,
You're not
but they're
French. He's
not going
French.
to, oh sorry,
He's
this French
French.
kid, but they
Yeah.
wouldn't go to see Alou Diarra? Can you
Because
explain that to me?
Alou Diarra got 10,000 followers. The other one has 3.1 million.
Yeah, but okay. It can't just be about the followers. It can't just be
It
about that.
is. It is. Let me tell you something. Like I didn't. I've been
Okay.
I've been in the basketball ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that kid since last year when people told me, "Hey, there's a tall basketball player that came here, and then he want to organize a meetup here." And that. I didn't even know there was a basketball player. I didn't even know he was a basketball player. The first thing that I know him being was a TikToker, somebody that do TikTok dances, and it went viral with it. And then something happens. You do TikToks, you get views, you viral. I mean, the target audience is not only
Basketball.
people that are watching basketball fans, right?
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. You also have kids, tall, light skinned, good looking boy, those type of things. So it's
I mean,
kind of
half
easier
a
for
minute.
you.
tall, light skinned, good looking boy is a problem in itself because that also then plays into the argument of
That's what
colorism.
I'm saying.
What?
And then
Yeah.
you put that with organizing, doing TikTok dances, and then you having 3 million followers. I mean, basketball can come into you, but the fame is already there. For those type of kids, it's
Mm.
kind of easier for market. And he's probably one of the youngest people to have so amount of followers in the OTE. I don't even know if Mikey have that. Mikey Williams.
No, Mikey
that's
had
the
like but
that's
that's the thing. This kid is like
that's the crazy. That's the thing.
this kid. Don't get me wrong. He's getting a bag every. He's doing collabs with Fashion Nova with Diamond.
Yep.
Like
This is crazy.
listen. You went to what's the name of this K54 to the
Hmm.
Jordan tournament. He was getting
Yeah,
more. He was
Paris.
getting he was getting more love than NBA players.
Yep.
I don't
You know.
understand social media. Like, I actually. Okay, so are
Yeah.
we saying, because we're running out of time, are we saying, or no, if you had one piece of advice, each of you, to give our MVP of the U16 for them to try and get some of that same notoriety, as well as being a good basketball player, potential great basketball player, what
Yeah.
is your piece of advice to give that U16 boy or U16 girl? Jigo, you go. One piece of advice.
Get your social media pages right.
They're 16 years old. What does that mean?
I mean, that's kind of something. I mean, for even though they're 16 years old, they're not alone on that process. They have agents, they have people that are behind their backs, and then do know and understand what happened. So probably a piece of advice I would go first. It's for the country, like the country that that boy is coming from.
Oh,
It's to
girl.
communicate and then to market him. Yeah, the boy and girl. It's to communicate and then to market him more and more and more, showing more of his highlights and whatever the case may be. So it will raise awareness. And then for the kid, it's only to ball. I mean, to be good and then to to be good and then to be good at basketball as well. But also your social media pages are really important. Look at Jean-Jacques Boissy, for example. Jean-Jacques Boissy started having social media pages right since he was 16 or 17 when he was attending camp at Basketball Without Borders or something like that. And guess what? He's right now one of the most marketable African players here. Look at his communication, for example. Even only not being good at basketball, having a great communication. No, I won't say great, but come on, a respectable, decent communication asset on socials and whatever can give you opportunities.
Yeah.
Some now we're in a new era. Some coaches might want to reach out to a player because they saw a highlight or something, and then they will probably send you a DM on Instagram and whatever the case may be. I think something like that happened in the U16 with that Angolan player, right, Pedro? When you were asking his Instagram pages. So yeah, that would be a piece of advice that I would.
Yeah, this
That would
kid, but but that's another thing. Some of these kids, they got their names all wrong. They don't have enough
yeah.
information there. I keep telling them, listen, put your age, put your position, put the team
Yeah.
that you currently play for, and
Mm,
if you want to have a little like coded IG
Nickname.
page,
Yeah.
do it on your private one. Your professional
Mm.
one for basketball or whatever sport that
yeah.
you might play, do it. But then there's another thing. We check. I was talking to the MVP of the America Cup.
Hmm.
You know, is this kid the kid from the states? He got paid a lot of money to go and change schools. A lot of money,
What?
a lot of money. But listen, there's NIL for high school kids now.
Mm.
You know,
Mm,
so
wow.
some of these listen, the last time the one who won MVP, like the Sarah Arafan,
Mhm.
the tall kid from Guinea, he moved. He's at Iowa United is about to be the second best big man in the country. He's gonna go play, whatever he's gonna play, and then go to the NBA. I think the best of the best need to go. Iron sharpens iron. You need to go and play where the best are.
That's true.
You cannot stay home. Don't get me wrong. It's the same as if you because check tennis players, they can turn pro at 15. They don't stay where they are, whatever these Russian players, Spanish players all over, whatever. They go to Florida and they start playing. Golfers, they go to Florida and start playing because the PGA is right there, right? So if you want to go be an NBA player, Don't don't. I mean, sometimes they will find you, but more often than not, in this big scheme of things. Come on, there was guys that played EuroLeague. There's this black kid from Italy, Dame Sar. He went to Duke. He was
Mm,
playing for Barcelona.
mm.
Yeah.
He was on the NBA radar already. You know,
Mm.
he went to Duke. What is he going to do with Duke? Get a bag. He got the bag, and then he's going to put his name in the draft, and go to the NBA. A lot easier
Yep.
than being on the bench in Barcelona. You might make it. Might make it. Oh yeah, you get drafted in the second round, this and that, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, these kids, we need to go. We need to have these kids compete against the best. And unfortunately, the best is not in Bamako, it's not in Luanda, it's not in Maputo, it's not in Kigali
Or Lagos.
or Lagos. Yeah, you know.
I mean, let's
So
be
with
real.
your own people.
All right, we are actually running out of time. So what I will say is the question we posed is the WNBA on Africa's radar? And I think we've all answered that question as a no. And what needs to happen is women's and girls' development needs to be improved, but also we as publishers, we as journalists, writers, social media commentators, we need to do a better job of talking about our own stars instead of expecting other people to do it for us. So when we do have, by the time you listen to this, we will have the under 16 MVP and the under 16 women's MVP. Repost it, tweet it, share their name, share their highlights. Like, let's keep talking about them, keeping them in the conversation. And we should also, as Swish Nomads, make a point to at least every other week, let's find out where that player is, what they're doing, and let's be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. All right. Two things. One, I forgot to do a quiz this week. And two, we've run out of time. So there's not going to be a quiz this week, but we will be back to normal standards next week. Also, Hidden Hoops.
Always winning the quiz.
Wow.
Homeboy
That's what.
had one
He
win.
won one quiz
Yeah,
and now
and
he's talking as if he's got back to back
Oh,
yeah,
wins.
yeah.
Sit
He's talking like
down.
he's Jonathan.
That's what I'm saying. You ain't even the beat out here. Relax yourself, man. Thank you for listening to the episode. I'm going to hand it over to P Funk, who's going to host next week. He's going to give us his final thought, which is.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, listen. I'm gonna just come and no, it needs a little setup. Okay, one kid that shall remain nameless because he had an opportunity to go to the states to take his talents to the states. Reached out to the family members, whatever, and this person said he only goes if I go. Okay. So, how many times is their own people sabotaging the kids' careers? Like, hey, you had your chance. You're not gonna go live vicariously through your kid. He needs to make it first before you go. So, how many times do we see? I mean, we heard about the what was it, witchcraft allegations from certain soccer players. We all heard about it. So, how many times is their own people sabotaging your future? In this case, I mean, sadly, but that's true. I just want you to, because we all have people in our families. Every black family has somebody like this. So yeah. Anyways, back to you, Carter.
Thank you so much for watching and listening. Make sure you follow us on all our social media pages. That's Swish Nomads Podcast. You can find us on X, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and TikTok. And keep swishing until next week. Have a great week,
X
guys.
is Twitter.
Oh, X is Twitter.
By the
So
way, yeah, that's what.
Okay, and this is why I don't have 14,000 followers, because I clearly don't even know how social media works. Okay, bye. This is okay, bye.